Welcome back, everybody. I am really, really sorry. It has been so long since I have recorded for you guys. I'm going to get into as much as I'm willing to share about what happened and why I was gone, just to apologize for everything. And while I do it, while I talk to you guys about everything that happened, I'm gonna play what became one of my comfort games during the downtime, which is very funny and very silly because it is the forest, and I did used to be absolutely terrified of it. Um, but during the downtime, I played so much of it that I not only have the entire island memorized, but I know exactly where to build base, and it's my favorite. I also played Sons of the Forest as well, but I played those offline with my partner and my nephew, and personally, don't tell anybody I said this, but personally, I don't think Sons of the Forest was better than The Forest. There were some upsides, but story-wise, The Forest is better than Sons of the Forest by a long shot. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna start a whole new game with you guys. And I won't play the entire game. I won't do a series on this unless you guys want me to. I absolutely can. It's just I wanted to play something easy and familiar for me while I talk about things that were hard for me to experience and go through. Um, does anybody really need to see the airplane crash? Whoa. I assume we all knew the plane was going to crash. Okay. Yes, yes, I'm bloody, I know. Oh, jeez. I think my mouse sensitivity has gone up since the last time I played this. But it's fine. Alright. So, pause for just a second. First and foremost, the last time that I uploaded for you guys was just before my birthday. So my birthday, I, and I still can't believe this was real life. It was my 30th birthday, you guys, my 30th birthday. And I had appendicitis. That's what the universe gave me to celebrate my birthday. A big milestone birthday, no less, was appendicitis. And so that was the initial reason for me not uploading because, all of a sudden I had to have surgery, I had to be on drugs, and I was completely out of it for minimum a week. I was in a lot of pain, had trouble sitting straight up like this for at least 2 weeks. So it was a struggle. And as proof, I want to provide for you guys. We have initial hospital photo here. Follow-up photo that I'm pretty sure I'd already been given morphine for. And then here is a photo that my partner took of me as I was coming out of surgery, wearing unintentionally the most hilarious photo or most hilarious t-shirt I could have worn for appendicitis surgery. It was completely unintentional. It just happened to be my pajama shirt that I was wearing. So yeah, on my 30th birthday, I spent the entire day in bed, except for when I went to the DMV to get a new license and photo. So now I have it immortalized forever on my license of me having appendicitis. So that's great. Um, anyway, I got rushed into surgery, managed to get it all cut out, and then less than a week later, my mother had hernia surgery. Equally fun, only my partner, and this is not his fault whatsoever, but my partner had already had plans to go out of town to help deal with his grandfather who passed away. So he had stuff that he was supposed to do. I was actually supposed to go with him for that trip. And I dang near did anyway. It was the doctors having to tell me like you can't to make me not go. Um and then it turned out my mom had hernia surgery following like not even a full week later. I think it was 6 days. And by that point my partner had left for going out of town. And so it was just me taking care of my mom while I was also recovering from surgery. I spent like 6 hours in the hospital waiting on my mom to come out for surgery. It was a whole thing. So that occurred. And then later that year, because, of course I fell off with recording. Um, what the fuck? A new plant discovered and I haven't even left the plane. So anyway, after the surgery, things started going really downhill between me and my mother. I don't think I've talked about it before. I can't really remember if I have or not. But sorry, her fingers are very interesting. Anyway, um, my mom lived with me. I attempted to take care of her. Ooh. Of course, I had to get the plane dropping in the worst fucking spot ever. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Oh. If I am where I think I am. It's fine. Um, so anyway, my mom lived with me. I tried my best to take care of her, but she was a very, very difficult person in general, but especially to like or get along with. Um, anyway, it culminated in her, um, and I'll send up a trigger warning right here for, or I don't know if YouTube's gonna yell at me for that. I'll set up a trigger warning here for unaliving. Um, yeah. So my mother made the choice to, well, you know, leave the planet a little earlier than was originally planned. I'm sorry, that's the fucking nicest way I can put it. Um, so as you can imagine, that was equally difficult on me. I've never gone to a cannibal camp this early in the game before. I don't know if this is going to trigger them to come after me sooner, because I know typically it's like a 5-day or 10-day waiting period before they start spawning on you in this game, and I'm just very anxious about it. Anyway. So as you can imagine, that was insanely difficult to deal with. Me and my partner were the ones that found her, and it just we are still to this day. It's been almost 2 years since this happened. We are still dealing with trauma. I myself am dealing with flashbacks, and it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not easy, and I'm still in like insanely angry with her for everything that she did. Not just choosing to leave, but how she chose to leave, why she chose to leave. Yeah. So it hasn't been fun. It hasn't been easy. My sisters, who I'd been estranged from for several years now, they actually stepped up in a major way. Um, following everything, and they helped arranging the funeral. So that was pretty freaking wonderful, to say the least. Um, but it's all just been quite hard, quite difficult. And that's, again, cutting it as mildly as possible. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what gory damn direction I need to go. Think this way? Let's go this way. So, it hasn't been easy, it hasn't been fun. Oh, also after, um, because of course, more shit has to happen. Why not, you know? So after everything happened with my mother, about, and I'm not kidding, about 6 months after the fact, my therapist recommends that we leave the state, go on a vacation, you know, change of scenery should help us deal with the trauma, processing things, you know. Good, healthy mindset. So, we do. We went to Oregon, which, by the way, I have been out of state before. But as an adult, I have not been out of state in any meaningful capacity at all. I have never been on a long vacation before then. Oh my goodness. Out of the water. Um, if I am right, then that shitty airplane landing was actually really good for me. If this is what I think this is. I'll find out in a second. Oh my goodness, an animal discovered. So anyway, we go to Oregon, right? It's beautiful. It's a wonderful place. I'm I'm having a great time considering I'm only there for like 2 days at that point, and I got laid off from my job. So that was great. That was excellent. I needless to say, I hated every minute of that. But I did manage to enjoy the rest of the trip. Um, it was just real hard because, and even my therapist, like, I texted her. It was literally the Monday after we landed in in Oregon. And I texted my therapist to let her know, like, I just got laid off. And she was pretty pissed on my behalf. I was pretty pissed on my behalf. Um, but my therapist said, like, typically when you go on vacation, it triggers something in your brain. When you come back from vacation, you have to go back to work. It puts your brain back in that mindset of, okay, I have to I have to work. I have to get back into work mode. And I couldn't do that because my job was no more. So I was stuck for quite a while. And I also, thanks to, trauma, family, love it, I had this immense amount of guilt every time I played a video game instead of looking for a job, or instead of cleaning the house or earning my keep, as my mom would call it. Um, and that's why, despite being unemployed for a year, I couldn't bring myself to record and upload videos for you guys. In addition to the fact that it's still really hard for me to talk about everything I went through. Do you know what I mean? Like, I I still struggle with the flashbacks and the mental images and panic attacks and everything that reminds me of my mom, which sucks because I look a lot like her, you guys. So every time I look in the mirror, damn near. But but it's doable, and I've been doing a lot of therapy, trying to work through it. And I'll be getting more therapy soon, thankfully. Um, Sorry, this the what I was saying earlier about the plane dropping me here. It literally dropped me just a hop, skip, and a jump away from my favorite place to build at. And where is the fucking fence? I don't want a wall, I want a fence. There we go. Defensive walls. Okay, there's my pond. I want the berry trees. So we're just gonna shove this in right around here. We're gonna take advantage of the short period of time we have before the cannibals start spawning. Right there. So life update to now. I am once again employed, as of literally a week ago. So that should tell you just a little bit about how my brain works as far as the trauma goes, as far as how I feel like I'm not allowed to enjoy myself without contributing. Is that the right term? I guess. Okay, why don't you go down? Why are you stuck up? You're supposed to go down. Okay, fine. Go over a little. How about that? Here? Yes? I just don't want them coming over the side. Here? This is so rude. Let's do this. Going. There. Done. No, no. Stop it. There. And then E. Woo! And an additional thing that has occurred, or is occurring, I guess. It's actively occurring. So, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this in a way that makes sense to people who don't have extreme trauma surrounding family shit. I was not allowed to like my dad. My mother was very manipulative, and she would test me. She would tell me horrible things about my father. And I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say absolutely horrible things. Like he gave her Pepsi type things. And so she would tell me these things. Tell me that my dad gave her Hep C, and that's why she now has liver cirrhosis and is dying. Spoiler alert, during the autopsy, Her liver was perfectly healthy. It was a complete lie. Well, almost a complete lie. She did technically have Hep C at one point in her life, and that's because they were part of the hippie generation and they both did drugs, needle drugs, with friends, and that's why they got Hep C. But she did not have liver cirrhosis. She was not dying of liver cirrhosis. It was just something to make me hate my dad that much more. And then, because there is an and then, there's always an and then, she would tell me that I should reach out to my dad. I should, he's my only dad. I should reach out to him, see how he's doing. And it was a test. It was a test to see if I was still loyal to her. And if I failed, it was bad. Now, if I passed, it wasn't great, but at least it wasn't constant fights and gaslighting. Like, she used to turn my alarm off in the mornings that I would set for work, and then freak out at me when I would take approved, and I'm going to stress this, approved time off. She would be like, well, what if they fire you for taking time off? You shouldn't take time off. But then she would turn my alarm off in the mornings without asking, so that I would, be late for work. That's the kind of shit my mom would pull. So for about 10 years, give or take, while it wasn't explicitly stated that I couldn't speak to my dad, it was understood. And now that she did what she did, and I'm reconnecting with my sisters and I'm reconnecting with my father, I don't know if y'all heard that, but I heard that. And it wasn't no bunny. Now it turns out my father has several types of cancer and probably will not be with us a year from now. And that means in most likely less than a year, I'll be an orphan. Not great, you guys. But, the past 2 years haven't been all negatives. There have been some positives. My partner and I did move. We moved into his home, which is where we are right now. And that was a whole nightmare and a half by itself. Are you kidding me? I don't have enough sticks. Don't have a flashlight. Shit. It's fine. What's that noise? So us getting the house fixed up and ready and to move in was a nightmare by itself. We had actually started that process before finding before my mom did what she did. Let's put it that way. Do I have enough? I need more leaves. Yes, I know, you're fat and exhausted, just like me. Um, so that kind of all happened in tandem. And that happened right around Thanksgiving time, for the record. Um, Now the upside was, like, my job hadn't laid me off at that point yet, and I was able to, I'm just gonna save, sleep. I should sleep through the night. Yeah. Um, so they did give me bereavement, which was good. I needed it. Um, but the bereavement ended up giving me almost a month off. Now I probably needed more than a month, to be brutally honest with you, because I was super traumatized, you guys. But even just being given the month off fully paid was a blessing. Would have been great if they, didn't lay me off immediately, like 5 months later, if that. Let's see if I can kill this deer. I don't think I can, but it's okay. Ooh, ooh. Did I get it? I got it. Ah. Okay, now I have meat to eat. Um, what was I saying? It would be lovely if I could remember all the things I was talking about. Um, all right, the positives. Um, so we moved in. I mean, obviously, going to Oregon, despite the layoffs, was still a positive. I think one of the biggest positives was my partner himself. I was unemployed for almost actually, no, for an entire year and then some. And mind you, I pulled out of my savings. I helped take care of the house. Um, my mother was a lot of horrible things, but she would never have allowed me to be a mooch. That was a big thing in my family. It was you were not allowed to. It sounds so horrible. No, but you're not allowed to need help, basically. Uh, so I pulled from my savings to help pay bills. Nearly depleted my savings. I took care of the house. Um, but regardless, without my partner, I probably would have been homeless. Just saying. Um, he, with much arguing, um, got me to let him pay most of the bills. I still paid my fair share for the most part. But like he would and he did it slowly. But he had me pay less and less toward the mortgage each month until I was eventually paying nothing toward the mortgage. Um he's just been amazing. Couldn't ask for a better partner. I was very, very, very lucky. Um, but yeah, um, been reconnecting with my sisters. That's another positive. Um, it's been hard, but it's it's like, how do you readjust your life? Because for almost a decade, my entire life was my mother. That was it. That was it. I wasn't allowed any other family. It was just me and my mom. And now I'm invited to birthday parties for the children, for the adults, the family gatherings, and it's a lot, you guys. I don't have a small family. Um, so it's rough finding the balance. Um, Additionally difficult is there are many family friends that I wasn't allowed to have anymore because they chose sides. One of those family friends recently passed away. So that was another rough thing that happened. And I'm just trying to find my way, trying to make it work. It's I can't even find the words because not easy doesn't seem to cover it. But I can't change the past. They can have some impact on the future. But mostly I've just got to make sure I'm okay with existing. And I mean, the additional bad things that have been happening more recently. Uh, Trying to think of how to say this. I'm in the US. I think I mentioned it before. I'm in like the Austin, Texas area, which is unfortunately within the United States. And Texas itself, not great right now. Just not great. Um, I I don't like it here, you guys. But the problem is, and this is an additional problem with reconnecting with my family now, like, on the one hand, my partner obviously, like, he doesn't want to leave his family behind, and I get that. And now, like, I don't want to leave my family behind either if we try and leave the country. But, like, how? There's just, like, at least in my partner's case, he has, a brother, a mom, a dad. And for right now, like, that's pretty much it. I have 3 sisters, 9 nieces and nephews, and my ailing father. That's. Do you guys have any idea how many people that is? That's almost 15 people. That's a lot. And I'm not even counting spouses right now, okay? If I was counting spouses, that'd be like 2.5 right now ish. I've got one brother-in-law. I have one who's about to be a brother-in-law. And then I got another one who wants to be a brother-in-law, but hasn't actually pulled the trigger yet. Um, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Um, so it's not like I can just, well, first of all, I can barely afford to exist myself. Like I said, I just got my new job. Um, but also like even if I was like making bank, like let's say hypothetically I made $300,000 a year, I still don't think I'd be able to afford moving every one of my family members out of the country if they even wanted to go. Like I know at least one of my sisters would, but anyway, it's been rough. And like I said, I haven't even talked to you guys about everything that happened. Obviously, that'd be a much longer video if I did, but yeah, let's just say it's been a long two and what, almost a half years, 2.5 years. But I promise I'm coming back and I will try my best to do more uploads for you guys. Let me know if you do actually want me to play the forest. I'm gonna see if um, my Dead Space save is still there. I've been playing Phasmo for the first time ever in my life recently with once again my partner and my nephew. Um, as a matter of fact, funny story about Phasmo. I was playing Phasmo, but we were in the not quite the loading screen, but the sorry, I forgot where I existed for a second there. Um, Let me build myself a house. This is fine. I have never needed more than the basic cabin anyway. So what was I fucking saying? Does anybody remember? Right. Phasmophobia. Just a second. There we go. So Phasmophobia. I was playing the other day, and we were in the loading screen where we were like choosing, what our loadout needs to be, and what house we're gonna go in. I am still a you know, big baby when it comes to the damn game. So at the moment, when I play solo, I have only done Tanglewood. Um, but oh my lord, where's the button? I will say this is one thing that Sons of the Forest was better at was the build mechanic, but I'm dead serious. The storyline was so much worse. So like it was, oh. But anyway, so I'm playing Phasmo, right? And it looks like, because you know how they have the moving, like the dots of dust across the screen and everything in the Phasmo loading screen. So I'm watching that, and I see a spider crawl across my screen from the right side all the way to the left. And I was like, well, that's kind of creepy to have, but I guess it's a creepy game, but that's kind of fucking weird, my guys. And then I had Steam pulled open over Phasmophobia because I think I was pulling a screenshot or something that I'd taken to share with them. And the spider crawled across the Steam window too. Now, I am not an arachnophobe. I'm not. I don't like spider webs, but I'm not afraid of spiders necessarily. I don't like them either, though. But you know what I really don't like? A spider inside my monitor. Not a fan. Not happy about it. Pretty fucking pissed about it, actually. Um, so right now we are we are working on treating our house with insecticide, inside and outside. It's hard though because if you've been paying attention to the news for Texas, there's been some flooding issues. Did I put another piece of meat on the fire and forgot? Okay. So anyway, there's been some, pretty bad fucking flooding, and thankfully, the flooding has not hit our area. Um, but obviously, like, families have been impacted. People near us have been impacted. People we love have been impacted in the flooding. Thankfully, no one in our direct circle has lost their lives. Knock on wood. But still, it sucks. It's not a fun thing. But because of the rain, which is still happening, it is raining actively today as I'm recording this. And we even had a flood watch until about an hour ago. No, I'm sorry, flood warning, not watch. Which, awesome for us. Thanks. But because of that, you can't exactly spray for bugs outside when it's raining. Um, so I did do a thing. I don't know if you could see it, but I bought a new fucking monitor because I'm not gonna deal with a spider inside my monitor. It's not a thing. I'm not doing it. Um, but um, I am refusing to put it up, like install it, set it up, and all that. And it's basically the exact same monitor I've already got, but spiderless. Um, but I'm refusing to set it up until after we spray inside and outside because I don't want to set it up and then just have the same fucking thing happen again. I don't I don't want another spider inside my monitor. I already have one and I don't like it. So, um yeah, that was just a little fun anecdote um that I wanted to tell you guys about. I was just gonna get rid of this monitor, like throw it away, put it on the curb, what have you. My partner suggested that I sell the monitor. Um, and I could. That is a thing that I could do. I don't know how I feel about selling it with a spider in it. A little conflicted on that. But we'll see. Maybe. Um, all I know is it ain't gonna be my spider anymore. It will relocate. Um, but yeah, just lots of things waiting right now. But I am gonna save. And I'm gonna exit. But that is essentially what has happened and what my life has been like for the past 2.5 years and why I've been gone. I'm sure you can imagine trying to do anything. I was in shock for 2 months after what happened with my mom. At least 2 months, probably longer. I barely remember the funeral. Um, but yeah, it's been rough. It hasn't all been puppy dogs and rainbows, and I have felt insanely guilty about not coming back for you guys, but also I knew I couldn't just pop back in and start playing games again without explaining why I was gone. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. Next upload will either be Dead Space, me trying to continue where I left off, or maybe The Infected. because I hadn't played that one in a little while. I remember it was Lazarus who's originally told me to play that one, and I hadn't played it in a while because they had changed the Vambies attack protocol and it was fucked up. It was broken. I was getting mobbed by like 4 or 5 packs daily, and it was making it impossible to play. But they've had crazy amounts of updates and changes since then. So maybe I'll give that another try because I remember it being a fantastic game until it was broken. So, uh, but yeah, I'm gonna sign off. But thank you guys so much for your patience and just existing. I hope you guys are staying safe and happy and healthy out there. I know for anyone who's in the US, like me, I'm sure it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been great. Um, but I don't know what's gonna have to change or how it's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to make the changes happen that need to happen. But we've we've got to make it through somehow. But and if you've been paying attention, you know where I stand. If you've been paying attention. Um, as a matter of fact, if you haven't, let me make it very clear to you. Hang on. Do I need to make it any more clear? Do I? Anyway, that and the rainbow shirt. I'm just saying. Anyway, I hope you all stay safe out there. I know I've said it already, but stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, spread kindness when and where you can. And just remember, this random YouTuber loves you. And I'll hopefully see you very, very soon. Bye.